Hi guys, welcome to the Sales Architect's second product highlight video. Today I'm going to be looking at some specific functionality within HubSpot. I could talk for days about all of the various different features and merits and benefits of using HubSpot as a CRM within your business, but today I'm just going to be focusing on one particular feature within that, and a little bit of backdrop around the kind of marketing capabilities of HubSpot to set some context as well for that. So as some of you will know, HubSpot is a very good marketing tool from the perspective of being able to manage all of your outbound and inbound email communications. You can set up automation sequences around that, so you can auto respond to certain activity, certain types of incoming mail, or certain types of activities that are going on in your business, and you can also use it for a raft of other things on the sales, service and ticketing side as well, but today I'm just going to be focusing on the marketing side. And the particular tool that I want to talk about is the templates system. So this is a really great way of saving time on regular emails that are being sent by maybe your product team, customer success team, account management and marketing. And so what we can do here is we can establish a template with some personalization so that the email looks like it's being personalized to the recipient, but actually it's just being built from a stock template. And what that does is saves you a few minutes every time you send that email. And for a customer success person, for example, if they're onboarding new customers multiple times a week and they might have 3 or 4 different onboarding emails that they need to send in a certain sequence, this can save half an hour of time for them of purely just kind of marketing admin. So let's take a look at the template tool. If you've got HubSpot already, it's found at the top here within the Conversations tab. You may or may not have access depending on your level of subscription. And I've got here some existing templates that I've already got set up, and I'm just going to jump into one of these and show it to you. So for example, I run my podcast. When I speak to someone on LinkedIn and I think that they would be a good guest for the podcast, I ask them for an email address, and then I send them this templated response, or a variation of this templated response. So I've got the name, podcast, guest invite, the subject line, so this is what will actually appear in the email subject line, and then the actual content of the email itself. So I've got a personalization token here for their first name. So if their first name is assigned as a contact within the HubSpot system, within the CRM, it will automatically pull their first name and put it in here, so I don't have to type their first name. Obviously that's a very simple time saving of a couple of seconds, but it's also good for consistency and completeness, quality of the response that you're inserting here by email. And then I've got a fairly lengthy track that I use here. I can go in, I can edit this template as a master template, but also when I use it in an email, I can add or remove certain pieces, which I'll show you in a second as well. Generally, I add a second piece of personalization at the bottom here as well, just so it looks more personalized. And this can be used across multiple different applications that I use for my email. So that's one example. I've got 5 here. They're all variations on similar themes. I'm going to send myself an email now out of this system, so using that template as well. So I'm going to click on the create an email button here. It'll bring up a blank email with my signature here as well. And if I click on templates, you can see the list of templates that we saw a second ago. If I choose the podcast, what it's done now is it's populated that email with the template, and it's picked up those personalization tokens. So you can see the first name, Tom, is there, and the first name is also at the bottom there as well. Now, I've now imported that template, but if I wanted to change something or remove something, I can do so in here, and it won't affect the master template that we created a second ago. So this can be altered without affecting anyone else's usage of the same template. So let's say in this example, I just want to remove that paragraph, it's not relevant. I can do so. Then I can send the email from the bottom here. What I'd also recommend doing, especially if this is some kind of email that requires action or a follow-up from yourself or a check-in with the client, for example, is to create a task to follow up as well. And you can do that to remind yourself in 2-3 working days, a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is that you need to follow up with there. You can set that reminder, and that will pop you an email and a notification in HubSpot when you need to follow up on this email as well. So that's great for if you're not using a very sequenced set of emails that have a specific time gap between each of them, but it's a little bit more ad hoc and you just want to remind yourself in a couple of weeks to follow up on this email if you didn't receive a response from them. Then that's a really great way of doing that using the task system in HubSpot as well. So I can go ahead and send that email to myself here. I'm not going to do it for the purposes of this. So that's one way of sending a templated email using HubSpot. Second way is to do it through a email client instead. Say I use Gmail. I'm on G Suite within the Sales Architect business. So again, here I've set up a new message to myself at the Board Game Bud email address. And what I can do here is actually pull in the templates from HubSpot because I've connected my HubSpot account with my Gmail account. So I can share across both platforms all of these templates, sequences, automations, anything that I've set up in HubSpot I can use in Gmail, and also in vice versa, anything that I do in Gmail I can set to automatically track in HubSpot. Now this is critically important for me anyway in the way that I operate. If I'm logging and tracking these emails out of my Gmail inbox, then it's appearing in the activity section, which is found in the center of the HubSpot activity feed here for the contact. So that means that any communications that I have with a client or a prospect or a lead or a partner is all contained in one place, regardless of where you send it from or you receive it to, regardless of the interface that you use for your email communication. So that's really important as well. Get your HubSpot account connected up to your Gmail. You can even do it on the free version of HubSpot as well, which I'd highly recommend, and just see how it goes. And if you find that you're pulling in too much activity, too much content, you can manage it all within HubSpot, or you can just turn off the logging and tracking as well. So back to the templates. Here are my templates. It's pulling them through from HubSpot. This is my podcast template again, and again it's picking up that personalization token on the first line, and again I can edit. So let's say this time I want to remove that paragraph. I can do that without affecting the master template, and then I can hit send out of my Gmail and it will track that through my HubSpot. So I'm actually going to do it through Gmail just to show you how that works. So that's been sent now. If I go to the contact record in HubSpot and I just refresh that page, it should, there we go, it should show you the activity of what I've been sending here. So if I go to the emails, podcast invite, there we go, it's been updated and you can see that it's tracked that email. And if the recipient was then to send something back, it would also log that activity in return as well. So we're keeping a really a tight focus on the communications back and forward. So that's the templating system and a little bit more about how you can use HubSpot integrated with other email clients as well. Highly recommend, if you're not using HubSpot at all or your business doesn't have a CRM at the moment, get on the free version, have a go at using it. Not just the marketing and the email functionality, but everything else as well, which I'm going to cover in future episodes as well. And if you like it and you want to go ahead and start to implement something like HubSpot in your business, let me know and I can help you do that. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll be back again next week for another one on a different feature or a different tool. Have a great week.